matter. Why don't you ask how he's going to fit into corporate interest, how he's going to fit into bank interest, how he's going to fit into your interest, and how he's going to fit into the GMO interest? Go and ask your supermarket local general manager, just like somebody did in a recent radio show. Go ask him, where does this food come from? If he knows, that's cool. If he doesn't know, really? So he's just got a job, right? He's just got a job. The food just kind of drops in from the corporate stork. And it's got all the GMOs and lack of nutrients that you need, right? Yeah. Do you guys care about this stuff when you make a vote? How does your representative for local, state, and national stack up for the food that you eat? How is your food dish being treated? And is it being treated as if you were an animal or a dog or a cat by its master? Because I tell you what, there was a time where I put a couple of drops in a cat bowl about allergy, dander reduction. Cat never knew the difference, right? Well, there you go. Same phenomenon. Oh, really? You want a free yoga mat with your bread at Subway? Really? You want free GMO high fructose corn syrup? Really? Have you seen the pictures of the rats? Oh, you don't want any more kids. You're out of that camp. Well, that's cool. Well, maybe some people do. But you got these big agri-corporations paired together with legislation making it law that they can bully people into growing their stuff and only their stuff. Are you kidding me? Land of the free, home of the slave? Whatever. This nightmare is over. It was a failed attempt, and it's not going to continue. You know, it used to be bad to grow a pot plant in your backyard, and now people are seeing that that's a little bit trite. So they're going to go after you for a tomato plant? Come on. Seriously? You're going to save a lot more money. You're going to get a lot more out of life if you can be self-sufficient. And why not? Seriously, the corporations, the government, they don't need your money anymore. They just print it anyways. And are you getting the benefit from it? No. You're not. Stand up. Make your vote. Politics doesn't have to suck. What sucks is the outcome if you don't do anything, because quite honestly, did what you did the last 4 to 8 years help your situation today? And believe me, I need to start going to some local meetings. Town hall, city hall, you name it. There's no doubt in my mind. But if you ever take a look at bills and laws and things like this, you'll see, hey, they can do this, why can't I? When did I lose my rights to do stuff while an entity such as a corporation gets to do stuff? Why is this? Because somebody's making some money. They're not making money off of you, Joe Schmo. They've already sucked you dry like a turnip and red taped your ass down to the floor. I was sitting here doing a little bit of research on Glass-Steagall. Well, it came from two names, Mr. Glass and Mr. Steagall. One was a senator, stood 5'4". The other guy went along with it so he could get a provision thrown in. This happened in 1933. Why do I care about something like that? Well, are banks and corporations too big to fail now? Have they merged to the point where they can now sell insurance? Can they underwrite still? Why would that matter? Can they play the stock market? Called investment banking? Why does that matter? Because you throw your money into their vault and then they fractionally reserve it down to where your money is a tenth of what they say they have on the books. They go invest in it and it can fall down like a house of cards. That's why it matters. And I'm not upset at any one person by speaking this way. It's just that sucks. So now your banker is a stockbroker. Really? Well, isn't that what sucked in 1929? Great Depression style? What are we looking for, like the super crash? It's as if 1929 was a template on how to do it better 80 years later to 100 years later. Wouldn't that be ironic? 2029, the next huge crash. A lot of people say it'll be 2020. Some say that the globalists are 10 years behind on their agenda. How do you find out this information? Well, you gotta dig. You know Wolf Blitzer's not talking about it. Bill O'Reilly used to go and attack George Soros when Obama was coming into office and shortly thereafter. Attack George Soros and Obama's connection. It doesn't happen now. He might throw in a little tidbit here and there, but seriously? Soros is doing stuff in Ukraine now, invested $5 billion. This is the same cat that was on bad investment, shady investment trials. He's out of Hungary or Poland back in the 90s or the early 2000s. Soros was, kind of had his collar stuck in the ringer for a bit. He got out of it just fine. How does that happen? You look at the EU, you look at consolidation. Well, if you're in politics and you want a pyramid-style hierarchy, and you really want to sit at the top, well, you only want to deal with a few people. So why not just make it 7? 1 for each continent. Well, some say it's going to be 10 supernations. And if you come from a biblical background, you'll see that that's what's talked about in Revelations, the 10 horns. But the thing about it is, if you're we the people, do you really want to answer to 1 or 10 people? And seriously, it's not that much of a stretch to think that it goes like that, because you've got the G6 summit, you got the G8 summit. Rio de Janeiro, you only had a group of super elite talking about what they were going to do with Agenda 21 in 1998. Agenda 21. It's kind of like a playbook for them now. Well, that was part of the Bush era. In fact, if it's not 1998, 2004 rings a bell. But you've got these G8 meetings, G6 meetings, etc. It's not that far of a stretch to see that it's a top-down hierarchy. Come on. We have enough natural resources in the world to take care of a lot of stuff. We've got the ability to renew a lot of resources, manufacture resources, use substitutions as resources. There's no reason a lot of people can't be enjoying life like they did in their childhood. You know what? You just don't see your parents being a slave when you're a kid. You don't see it. You realize dad's gone every frickin' hour of the day. You realize your mom is at home, and you're just kind of there doing stuff. But once you get older, you start to realize what it's like in those shoes. And then you want to have a kid, and you want it to be better off tomorrow. Well, let's just stop there. This better tomorrow for the children, you hear that cliche phrase out of every politician's mouth. But yet their left hand does the opposite of what the right hand's pointing to. Come on. And it's not going to come with handouts. It's going to come when they stop siphoning money away from you. Siphoning it through taxation into this bottomless money pit. Giving it to their buddies in private deals. Giving it to the banks. Giving it to the corporations. Just so it looks different on paper. What has the bank done for you lately? Just to quote Janet Jackson. Seriously, what have you done for me lately? Well, if you look at your bank statement, how much have you financed your local branch with back payment on bounce checks, service fees, this and that fee? Why don't you get a high inflation reduction tax? No? What have you done for me lately? Oh yeah, got a loan. Well, that was nice. I got to go in debt to you. Well, I tell you what, if I had 30% back from all of the money I spend to the government and out of my working money, I could retire 20 years earlier, and I probably wouldn't even have to take out a loan. I could use the savings account, and you could have a legitimate bank book where your money is actually that of people's savings that are in the bank. You wouldn't have to loan it out at a tenth or a hundredth of what's actually sitting in your vault, just so it looks good on paper. So you see why it's important to stand up. Politics doesn't have to suck, but I tell you what, if you watch CNN, Fox News, or the dinosaur media that is going out of trendiness and out of style, you're going to have your time wasted. Literally, you're going to have your time wasted. You're going to want hours of your life back. So that's why politics doesn't have to suck. Seriously, if you're grabbing a microphone, if you're on TV, if you're out with your friends talking about stuff, it doesn't have to suck. Because your personality doesn't suck. It's the personalities, the talking heads, the topics they talk about. It's beating a dead horse. And it does suck. I totally agree. But you got to replace something that sucks with something better. You get what I mean? Alright, that's the end of this commute for today. It's the end of this podcast. A few of the songs brought to you by The Prodigy. And this is Eugene Roundtree III signing off with High Voltage News from High Voltage Entertainment. Have a wonderful day.